A 3-year-old boy stood in the middle of a shabby wooden room, his round face full of wide-eyed wonder as he looked around. Holy crap, I actually transmigrated. No way, this can't be real. In his previous life, Saitama was an orphan. His grandparents and parents passed away early, leaving him alone in the world with only a few $1 billion in the bank. With that massive inheritance, Saitama spent every day doing nothing but eating, watching anime, and reading 18-plus light novels to nourish his soul. At some point, without realizing it, he had become a full-fledged otaku. This doesn't make sense. Isn't the usual Isekai setup supposed to involve getting hit by a truck, struck by lightning, or dying from heartbreak? All I ever did was lie in bed all day and I still died? What kind of crap luck is that? When he was 8, Saitama caught COVID from a cute maid and was sent straight to the hospital for isolation. Despite the doctor's best efforts, he unfortunately didn't make it. Before dying, Saitama donated his entire fortune, billions of dollars, to the manga authors whose work he had been following religiously. Damn it. I still had so many anime left unfinished. One Piece, Boruto, Dragon Ball, One Punch Man, Overlord. Just an hour before, Saitama was still lying in his hospital bed. Now, an hour later, he was lying there, dead, grinning like an idiot. Thankfully, Saitama had always been a weirdo otaku kid, constantly glued to manga, anime, or bedtime fairy tales. His adaptability was unusually strong. If it had been any other kid, they'd probably have screamed their lungs out or curled up in a corner sobbing. Alrighty then, let's check this body's memories, shall we? He began digging through his new body's memories. East Blue, Goa Kingdom, Dawn Island, calendar, May 7th, 1508. The Pirate King Gold, Roger, had already kick-started the Great Pirate Era. Wait a minute, isn't this the world of One Piece? Holy sh*t, I am screwed. I couldn't swim in my last life. Can I even learn in this one? Based on the fuzzy memories of this body, Saitama was the same age as the main character, Luffy. His parents were well-known corrupt merchants in East Blue. They made a fortune by exploiting workers and selling counterfeit, smuggled, low-quality goods. The family was loaded, hundreds of millions of belly in shady assets. King, I am a system of divine assistance. Would you like to lock your system now? A robotic voice echoed in Saitama's head. Oh hell yes. Finally, a golden finger. Lock it in, of course. Who'd be dumb enough to skip that? King, system locked successfully. Newbie gift package has been issued. King, you are granted 6 years of protection as a beginner. After spending some time exploring it, Saitama came to a conclusion. This system was lame as hell. Totally mid. No chatting function. No OP powers. Just a protection card as the starter pack. Where was his mythical cultivation technique or world-ending divine weapon? Sai, what a letdown. In his previous life, Saitama loved villain characters. Why? Because villains in Isekai always got all the perks. Like being born into some god-tier noble family, having overpowered ancestors, instantly unlocking villain systems, and steamrolling the main characters like stepping on ants. Thing, please choose your faction. Note, once selected, it cannot be changed. Each faction has unique missions. Please think carefully before making a decision. Saitama rested his palm on his forehead and pondered his future. Option 1. Join the Marines. Become a loyal dog of the Celestial Dragons. Reward. Max level Marine Authority. Max Authority? Huh? Not bad. Join the Marines, defeat pirates, protect peace, earn respect. Make history. But hell no. I've got a system. I'm clearly destined to stand at the peak of this world. No way am I becoming a lapdog for the Celestial Dragons. This option, rejected. Option 2. Join the Revolutionary Army. Serve Monkey D. Dragon. Overthrow the world government and fight the Celestial Dragons. Reward. Max level armament hockey. Max level armament hockey. That's sick. Armament acquis compteur logiatype de Villefruit. Combine that with top-tier martial arts, and I could punch Kaido and kick Big Mom in the next week. But again, I got a system. I'm not signing up to be Dragon's errand boy. This one's a no too. Option 3. Become a pirate. Burn the world down. Spread terror across the seas. Reward. Max level observation hockey. Allows you to read the thoughts of everyone around you. Haha, that's the one. In a world like One Piece, if you're not aiming to become the Pirate King, then what's the point of being here at all? I am Saitama, and I will become the Pirate King. Thing, you have chosen the path of the Pirate King. Reward. Max level observation hockey. You can now read the thoughts of everyone around you. My head. Saitama clutched his skull in agony as a flood of information suddenly slammed into his brain like a freight train. Damn it. Yesterday was Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. Ugh. It's my turn to wash the dishes again. Some kid's voice grumbled in his mind. Someone help. I'm gonna die. They're trying to slit my throat. A terrified chicken screamed. Voices. Countless voices filled Saitama's head, from humans, animals, everything alive around him. Their thoughts echoed chaotically, crashing against each other like waves in a storm. He rolled back and forth on the ground, holding his head, desperately trying to shut off his newly awakened observation haki, max level. But no matter what he did, it wouldn't stop. In that moment, he finally understood the torment son Wukong must have felt when Tripitaka chanted the tightening headband spell. God damn it, stop thinking, all you idiots. My poor young master brain's about to explode. It had only been a minute since he awakened his observation haki, the kind that let him hear the thoughts of everything around him. But to Saitama, it felt like an eternity of torture. Thoughts swirled nonstop. Most of them were completely useless, filled with worries about food, money, pirates, the navy, pure nonsense. Hey kid, you okay in there? Right then, a gentle voice called out. A beautiful girl with soft brown eyes and shoulder-length green hair rushed into the room, seeing the yellow scarf tied around her neck. Saitama froze for a second. Even the headache seemed to ease a little. That yellow scarf, isn't she Makino? The bartender from Fusha Village? What the heck is she doing here? Still unsure of the situation, Saitama played dumb. He stammered, who are you? Don't hurt me. I'm Saitama, though he currently looked like an 8-year-old boy. Saitama's mental age was anything but innocent. Thanks to watching countless R-rated action movies in his past life, he knew exactly how to act. If he looked too calm, it'd raise suspicions. Better to play the frightened kid for now. Oh no, don't be scared. I'm Makino, the girl said gently, kneeling beside him. I'm in the tavern in Fusha Village. I found you unconscious on the beach yesterday while I was out for a walk. Hearing that, Saitama lowered his head and slowly replied, I see. Thank you for saving me. Sniffle. Thanks to the memories of this body's original owner, he quickly pieced together the situation. A few days ago, Saitama's home, Skull Island, was attacked by pirates. His friends, family, everyone was slaughtered. He was the only one to survive, managing to escape into the sea and wash ashore here. Well, survive might not be the right word. The real Saitama had drowned. What brought the body back to life was his soul, which had crossed over with a mysterious system, taking over the corpse. Wah, I'm so unlucky. My mom and dad were killed by pirates, and they threw me into the ocean to feed the fish. But maybe, just maybe in my past life I did a lot of good things. I must have racked up some serious karma. That's why the heavens spared me. And I washed up here where you saved me. Wah. Saitama let a few perfectly timed crocodile tears roll down his cheeks. Complete nonsense, but delivered with Oscar-worthy sincerity. After years of watching anime in his past life, he was confident in his acting skills. If he had landed in smart anime worlds like Naruto or Detective Conan, people might have seen through him. But this was One Piece, a world where the main character Luffy had the IQ of a loaf of bread. People here would believe anything. Poor thing. Makino sniffled, holding him close. Why don't you stay here in Fusha Village with me from now on? Okay. Saitama gave a mental thumbs up. Hell yeah, a beauty like her? You think I'm gonna say no? He buried his face in her chest. Dang, she's got a nice rack. If I remember right, Makino is about 12 years older than Luffy. Luffy's 3 now, and so am I. That'd put her at 15 or 16, body just starting to bloom. Saitama didn't move, enjoying the soft bounce and warm squish against his face. Not bad, though not quite on Momonosuke's level. That little punk got hugged by Nami, Robin, and Yamato. He thought back to watching those scenes on TV in his past life, where he'd scream at the screen, "Let go of those goddesses. You little twerp, let me in." But that was then. Now he was in One Piece, and he made himself a promise. If I ever run into that punk Momonosuke, I'm cutting off his damn family jewels. No way I'm letting a guy like that keep breeding rights. Only I, your young master, shall be worthy of charming the beauties of this world. By the way, Makino asked, suddenly serious. Do you remember who those pirates were? The ones who attacked your family. Saitama blinked. Hell if he knew. Just a bunch of random thugs. But whatever. He could just make something up. Time for the kill shot. Sniffle, sniffle. It was the red-haired pirates. The captain, he had red hair and 3 scars over his left eye. His left arm was missing, and he carried a saber at his waist. I think his name was Shanks. Makino's face went stiff with fury. She clenched her fists. Shanks, huh? Don't worry, Saitama. If I ever meet Vice Admiral Garp, I'll ask him to destroy that bastard's whole crew and avenge your family. Ting. Main quest activated. Become the Pirate King. Reward. The ability to travel to any world of your choosing. Ting. In order to become the Pirate King, the host must train diligently. Ting. Side quest initiated. Get stronger. The host must find every possible way to improve their power before setting sail and chasing the dream of becoming the Pirate King. Reward: upgraded version of the Thousand Sunny Sailboat. And just like that, for years passed in a blink. Every single day, Saitama trained with relentless dedication. For 3 straight years, without missing a single day, he did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and ran 10 kilometers. Most importantly, no matter how hot it got, he absolutely refused to use air conditioning. The result? After 3 years, Saitama lost every single hair on his body. Not a single strand was left. Now, after the 4-year time skip, Luffy had just turned 7. About a year ago, the red-haired pirates, led by their captain Shanks, decided to temporarily settle in Fusha Village. His real goal? To lure the main character, Monkey D. Luffy, down the dark path of piracy. Haha, everyone, raise your glasses to Luffy's courage. 1, 2, 3 cheers. Bottoms up, for a rubber-brained, low-IQ kid like Luffy. A few grand tales about the One Piece and some made-up adventures on the high seas were all it took for Shanks to reel him in. Hook, line, and sinker. The kid even grabbed a knife and gave himself a scar on the face like some second-rate gangster. Meanwhile, Saitama couldn't care less. From the moment he activated the system, it was clear as day to him. Luffy was never going to become the Pirate King. Not in this life. Every morning, after finishing his grueling workout routine, Saitama would run over to the bar to help Makino serve food, wash dishes, or wipe down tables. By all rights, after his parents were killed by pirates, Saitama should have received a hefty life insurance payout. But at the time, he was too weak. As the saying goes, an innocent man holding treasure is guilty by default. His inheritance? A full 1 billion belly. If he'd actually tried to claim that money back then, the insurance company probably would have just sent assassins to kill him. 1 billion belly is no joke. For reference, 1 Tony Tony chopper is worth about 100 belly. That's 10 million choppers. What kind of doomsday prepper needs 10 million emergency choppers? You'd never finish eating them all. Right now, Saitama was actually kind of curious what the hell Shanks was thinking, so he activated his fully maxed out observation haki to read his mind. Activating max level observation haki. That dumbass Luffy really fell for it. Hooked him into becoming a pirate, inheriting Gold D. Roger's will, Shanks was thinking. Luffy's background was special. His grandpa was a Marine hero. His dad was the leader of the Revolutionary Army. And as for his mother and grandmother, Shanks had no idea. But he did know one thing. That D in Luffy's name meant something. People with a D in their name were called the enemies of God. Very few knew this secret, but Shanks, having once been an apprentice on the Pirate King's ship, was one of the rare few who did. And that's exactly why he wanted to drag Luffy's whole family into this mess. He couldn't do anything to Garp or Dragon. Those two were monsters. But Luffy? Just some snot-nosed brat. Manipulating him was child's play. Once Luffy sets sail and becomes a pirate, you think his grandpa and dad are just going to stand by and let it happen? Not unless they want to cut off their family line forever. And because Saitama hadn't intervened, Luffy ended up following the script and accidentally ate the Gum Gum Devil Fruit. So the idiot finally ate the Paramecia-type Gum Gum Fruit. Makes the user immune to blunt force attacks like punches, kicks, cannonballs, and physical weapons. Same trick I pulled on that moron Buggy back in the day. Fed him a split Devil Fruit that makes him immune to slashing attacks. 2 idiots, 2 sucker moves, both by yours truly. Shanks thought to himself. Yep, it was all rigged. That precious Gum Gum Fruit, just left lying out in some dingy old box on a table, right in front of Luffy, without even being locked up. All according to plan. Saitama also remembered a conspiracy theory he heard in his past life, that the ancient weapon Pluton was hidden on a lightning-filled island, and a Gum Gum Fruit grants immunity to lightning. Based on that, the theory sounded pretty damn plausible to him. And speaking of rumors, there was another one. That the father of Makino's baby was none other than Shanks. With this young master around, no way I'm letting Shanks get all chummy with Makino, Saitama muttered to himself. Makino, catching Saitama's hostile stare toward Shanks, looked awkward and helpless. Everyone knew it. Saitama hated pirates with a passion. Makino gently patted his bald head and tried to explain. Saitama, not all pirates are bad people. The ones who killed your family were the white-haired pirates. Their captain was white-haired Shanks. But these guys here, they're the red-haired pirates. Their captain's name is also Shanks, but he still has both arms. Hearing that, Saitama's eyes went wide. Damn, this girl still believed that dumb lie? Did she seriously not realize that the so-called red-haired pirate crew was just something Saitama made up, loosely based on the red-haired pirates from One Piece? Well, to be fair, in his previous life, Saitama had watched One Piece and seen way dumber characters than this girl. Especially the villains in that series. Some of them were downright brain dead. Take Spandam. For example, the commander of CP. The guy was a complete clown and still somehow got promoted to a leadership position. No one of the Navy kept losing. Influenced by Saitama's presence. The people of Fusha Village didn't exactly hate pirates to the bone, but they certainly didn't like them either. For a whole year, the red-haired pirates had been getting run out of the village every day. The villagers even called the cops. Wait, no, they called the Navy on them. But thanks to a level of shamelessness tougher than concrete, Shanks and his crew managed to put up with all the insults just to crash in Fusha Village for over a year. A few times, the legendary marine hero Garp came by to visit his grandson Luffy. If it weren't for the fact that Shanks had once been an apprentice on Pirate King Roger's ship, and Roger happened to be Garp's, let's call it his close frenemy, and that Garp somewhat trusted Shanks' character, believing he wouldn't harm innocent people, then there's no way Garp would have let them stay. He just turned a blind eye and left it at that. Saitama, watching from the sidelines, just chuckled to himself. Garp was definitely going to regret this decision one day. Garp wants Luffy to become a marine, but in reality, Shanks has already roped the kid into becoming a pirate, and no one even noticed. Even Saitama had to admit, Shanks was ridiculously patient. For a whole year, they were cursed out by the villagers daily, treated like stray dogs. But Shanks endured it all for one goal, tricking Luffy into going out to sea as a pirate. So what if people yelled at him? He was even willing to lose his left arm for Luffy and didn't seem to mind one bit. Saitama remembered how, in the original story, in Chapter 1, the red-haired crew could have easily taken care of the mountain bandits from the start. So why waste time talking in circles, letting Higuma throw a smoke bomb and kidnap Luffy? Why wait until Luffy was in danger just to say something cheesy like, hurt me all you want, but if you touch my friends, you'll pay dearly? Why not just defeat Higuma first and keep Luffy safe? The whole thing was clearly a setup by Shanks. He wanted to implant Joel-D, Roger's ideals into Luffy's mind, play the hero role, and leave a deep emotional mark on the kid. He wasn't saving a damsel in distress. He was playing the part of the heroic pirate, saving a snot-nosed brat. And it worked. And that's not all. Later, when the Sea King showed up, why didn't Shanks just use Conqueror's Haki from a distance to scare it off? Why swim up close, offer up his left arm like a snack, and then use his Haki? Easy. He wanted to win Luffy's loyalty. Make sure the kid remembered this forever. It would increase the chances of Luffy deciding to set sail and follow in his footsteps. Haha, this dumb kid Luffy is so naive. All I have to do is give him the straw hat. Once he finds out it used to belong to the Pirate King himself, he'll be so hyped he might just explode. Shanks thought smugly. Speaking of that straw hat, Saitama thought it was kind of absurd. A single piece of straw had lasted over 20 years through sun, rain, and storms without falling apart. Must be some kind of butterfly effect or something. Apparently, Shanks decided to leave immediately and not even take a few days off to recover. In truth, there were 3 reasons Shanks wanted to leave right away. First, he had achieved his goal. No point sticking around. Losing his left arm would have been a total waste if Luffy didn't become a pirate. Second, the villagers' attitude toward the red-haired pirates wasn't exactly welcoming. Why stay and keep getting yelled at? Damn that Shanks. If he hadn't tricked Luffy into becoming a pirate, none of this would have happened. Yeah, Higuma came by to buy booze plenty of times, and nothing ever happened before. No Shanks equals no insults equals no Luffy getting mad and getting kidnapped. Serves him right for losing his arm. We need to report this to Garp right away. Luffy's been totally duped by that bastard Shanks. The villagers' gossip might have been quiet, but Shanks, who had high-level observation Haki, heard every single word loud and clear. If it had been anyone else bad-mouthing him like that, Shanks wouldn't hesitate to slice them up and offer their remains to the Sea King. But in front of Luffy, he had to hold back. He couldn't let the kid see the dark side of piracy just yet. What if Luffy got scared and decided to become a marine instead? All of Shanks' effort, a whole year of humiliation and patience, would go down the drain. And the third, and most important, reason. Damn it, we need to get out of here before things go south. If Garp found out his precious grandson Luffy had been tricked into becoming a pirate, that guy would chase Shanks to the ends of the earth and throw him straight into Impel Down. After saving Luffy and getting him to shore, Shanks gave one last little speech to stir up Luffy's emotions. Then, he handed over the straw hat, turned, and swaggered onto his ship, setting sail into the horizon. Nearby, Saitama looked totally confused as Makino recounted everything that had happened. Damn it, I go to the bathroom for 1 minute and miss everything. Earlier, Saitama had gotten a stomachache and went to the restroom. The moment he stepped out, without even washing his hands yet, Makino had dragged him away to watch the action. Too bad Makino ran like a snail. By the time they got there, Shanks had already completed his master plan. Off my arm. If that damn Sea King didn't still have some use later, I would have sliced it into sashimi already. But whatever, tricking Luffy into going out to sea. Totally worth it. Even if I lost a leg too. Shanks thought. For now. Shanks let the Sea King off the hook, figuring Luffy could deal with it later. As the ship slowly sailed away, Luffy stood there, tears and snot streaming down his face. He was overwhelmed with emotion as he shouted at the top of his lungs. I'm gonna gather a crew even stronger than yours, and then we'll travel the world together, find the One Piece. And I'll become the king of the pirates. Ahaha! Saitama watched the scene unfold and couldn't help but shake his head with a smirk. I put together a crew, huh? I'd actually like to see how you pull that off. Zoro, for now, said nothing. As for Nami and Robin, Saitama had already invited them to his private quarters. That was non-negotiable. Usopp? That guy only had a big mouth. He could sit this one out. And Sanji, horny as ever, Saitama wasn't even interested in competing. Luffy could keep that one. Well, whatever. It's too early to worry about this now. I'll deal with it later. At the same time, back at Marineford, the headquarters of the Navy, God damn it, that bastard Shanks. You're dead. How dare you trick Luffy into becoming a pirate? The shrill, furious scream echoed through the halls, rattling everyone's nerves and making their ears ring. For 3 months straight, the red-haired pirates were relentlessly hunted down day and night by Vice Admiral Garp. It wasn't until they finally made it to Paradise, the first half of the Grand Line, that Shanks and his crew could finally catch their breath. Damn it, that old bastard Garp is seriously out of line. Just you wait. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and I've got 10 years to prep it. Give me 10 more years of training. When I become one of the 4 emperors, I won't give a damn about anyone anymore. At this point, Shanks was only 29, still pretty young. If he had 10 more years to train and rise to become a Yonko, he wouldn't have to run around like a dog with its tail between its legs. Garp, seeing that he couldn't do anything to Shanks and his men, reluctantly gave up and returned home to discipline his rebellious grandson. Dawn Island, Fusha Village, Windmill Village. After a few love taps from Grandpa Garp, Luffy got dragged up MT Kalubo behind the village. There, he met the mountain bandit Dayton, his brother, Ace, and eventually ran into Sabo at the junkyard. What followed was a whole saga of nonsense, fighting Blue Jam's pirate crew, forming a blood brother pact, swearing they'd all become pirate kings one day over a cup of spit, and so on, none of which Saitama gave a crap about. Every day was business as usual for him. He worked part-time at Makino's bar, then at night took a bath with her, and finally crawled into bed and slept. This world didn't have TVs or smartphones, other than the Den Mushi. There was literally nothing for entertainment. You have no idea how painfully boring Saitama's days were. Nighttime was especially dull. If Makino hadn't let him cop a feel now and then, he probably wouldn't have been able to fall asleep at all. And hey, let's not forget that punk Momonosuke, 8 years old and still bathing with literal goddesses like Nami and Robin. Saitama's only 7. Just touching a little, not exactly crossing a line here. Oof. Saitama, where the hell are you? Get your ass out here. Lately, Luffy Ace and Sabo had been challenging Saitama to fights on the regular, trying to see who was stronger. They all dreamed of becoming pirate kings someday. While Saitama hated pirates and declared that one day he'd kill the pirate king. So of course, daily brawls became a thing. Come on out. We 3 are taking you on together today. Luffy shouted with fiery confidence. Saitama just sighed. These 3 had been getting there, but handed to them by him every day, swollen lips, loose teeth, tears and all. And yet they just kept coming back for more. Knowing full well they couldn't beat him one-on-one, this time they teamed up 3-on-1. Tisich, fine, I'll humor you losers. Saitama said with a mocking grin. His smug, couldn't care less attitude enraged the trio, and they lunged at him. Damn it, think you can look down on the 3 of us? Ever heard the saying? 1 stick breaks easily, but 3 together just get beat up faster. Ow, stop hitting my face, Saitama, have mercy. Don't get cocky. 30 years east. 30 years west. Don't underestimate the youth, thou. Why'd you punch me there? Hit Luffy instead. He's a rubber guy, he can take it. Ace, you backstabbing jerk. We're supposed to be brothers, share joy and pain alike. Why'd you tell him to hit me there? Saitama, you bastard, listen up. I'm Luffy, future pirate king. Even if you punch me in the butt, I'll never give in. OWMOM. It hurts. How am I rubber and still getting knocked flat? After pummeling the 3 idiots into tears, literal snot-nosed sobbing. With at least one running home to Dayton crying, Saitama just sneered. Oomph. You snotty little brats think you can become pirate kings? Go home and suck your mama's boobs or something. Hearing that, Ace and Sabo grumbled in their heads. Damn hypocrite. Look who's talking. You're 7 and still copping feels from Big Sis Makino. Of course, they wouldn't dare say that out loud. Unless they were begging for another beating. Before limping away, they left behind the classic threat. You just wait. We'll show you someday. And so they returned to their training. Beaten but not broken. Determined to one day beat the crap out of Saitama and finally earn his respect. Sometime later, Sabo was taken back by his biological parents. There, his adopted brother, Stelly, revealed the Royals' plan to burn down the Grey Terminal before the world government inspectors arrived. Sabo panicked and tried to warn the people living there, but he failed. The Grey Terminal was torched. Sabo was dragged home again, but escaped soon after. Rinse and repeat, caught and escaped. Over and over. It was exhausting. Finally, Sabo tried to escape to sea by boat. But just as luck, he ran into a world noble ship and boom, got shot. If it weren't for Luffy's father, Dragon, swooping in to save him, Sabo would have been dead meat. When Luffy and Ace heard that Sabo had died, they cried for 3 days straight and collapsed from grief. Even after they woke up, they skipped meals, sobbed into their pillows, and dreamed of ripping the royal bastards apart. Deiden, unable to stand watching them suffer, climbed down the mountain and begged Saitama to give them a good beating, hoping it might help them snap out of it. Saitama happily obliged. If someone wanted a beating, he was always happy to help. See that? I told you. Punk kids like you don't have what it takes to become Pirate King. Just give it up already and go home. Go cry to your mama. Why don't you? After getting smacked around by Saitama, and then hearing him taunt them like that, the two of them snapped back to their senses. You're right. Sabo may be gone, but I still have to keep the promise we made back then, to become the Pirate King. From now on, I'll push forward for both of us. I'll carry Sabo's share of the dream, too. Ding. Mission complete. Become strong. Reward. 1 upgraded version of the Thousand Sunny ship. Note, the ship has been stored in the system space. The host may summon it at any time. 10 years later. East Blue Dawn Island, Fusha Village. After a decade-long time skip, Saitama finally decided it was time to set sail and pursue his dream of becoming the Pirate King. Every year on his birthday, the system had been gifting him rare and powerful items. Among the most notable, Isenade, the 3-tailed giant turtle from the Naruto universe. To avoid any confusion from the villagers about a giant-tailed beast suddenly falling from the sky, the system had crafted a convenient backstory for the creature. One sunny day, while Saitama and Makino were at the beach, a strong wave hit and swept away Makino's swimsuit bottom. As Saitama dove underwater to find her bikini, he stumbled upon an odd creature, a turtle-like being with a crab shell and 3 shrimp-like tails. It also had human arms, but no legs. One of its eyes was always closed, making it look half-blind. It was the 3 tails. Struck by how adorable the creature looked, Saitama decided on the spot to adopt it as his pet. Over time, the 3 tails grew from a tiny 10-centimeter hatchling into a colossal beast spanning several hundred meters. Are you sure you want to go to sea, Saitama? Village Chief Whoop, Slap, asked worriedly. Yes, Saitama replied, standing tall. Even though the red-haired pirates might have already become fish food, there's still plenty of other pirate crews out there causing chaos. I may not be some heroic warrior, but I still want to do my part to rid the world of evil pirates and help the innocent people suffering along the way. For that dream, as much as it pains me, I must set sail now. His passionate speech moved the villagers deeply. Some were so touched, they even started sniffling and wiping their noses. Saitama himself almost believed his own dramatic speech for a second. As a loyal fan of anime villains in his past life, Saitama thought the kids in the One Piece world must have had something seriously wrong with their heads. They'd scream, "I want to be a pirate," before they even did anything wrong. No wonder the Marines were after them. Seriously, wouldn't it be better to start as a bounty hunter? Defeat pirates, earn cash. Pirates fighting pirates? No worth. Plus, the government puts a target on your back. Hell, Sengoku might even send an admiral after you. Introduce yourself as a pirate, and civilians curse you to your face. But say you're a bounty hunter? The public cheers, beauties throw flowers at you, maybe even themselves. Damn it, Saitama muttered. Why pretend to be a bad guy when playing the good guy pays better? A true professional pirate needed brains. At the very least, they should know how to play the long game, like Kuro, captain of the Black Cat Pirates. If not for running into Luffy and friends, Kuro could have pulled off his entire dark scheme, wiped his criminal record, inherited Kai's fortune, and lived rich till his hair turned gray. But alas, bad luck. Villains without brains don't even last a few chapters before landing in jail. Saitama wasn't stupid. If he wanted to become the Pirate King, step 1 was patience. Step 2? Pretend to be a righteous man. To the world, he'd be a noble hero. Behind the scenes? A manipulative schemer pulling strings. Sending his underlings to commit crimes no one could trace back to him. Smart villains? They live till the end of the show. Sometimes, they even kill the protagonist and rule the world. Just like Blackbeard. The guy played it cool for decades. Then, after snatching Whitebeard's Tremor fruit, he suddenly started swaggering around like he owned the place. Guys like him? Arrogance will be their downfall. No doubt Luffy will beat him to a pulp eventually. If he's lucky, maybe he'll survive to the final arc. If not, dead halfway, guaranteed. So what's Saitama's game plan? First, pretend to be a bounty hunter. Then, find Laughtail. See what the hell the One Piece treasure actually is. What kind of treasure makes everyone laugh just by looking at it? Even a Pirate King Roger burst out laughing and said, "Joy boy, I wish we'd lived in the same era." Too bad I died too early in my past life, Saitama thought. Didn't even get to see what the One Piece looked like. Now that I've reincarnated here. If I don't set foot on that island, that's just a waste. On the day of his departure, the entire village dropped their chores and gathered at the beach to see Saitama off. Bon voyage, Saitama. Rest in peace. I mean, safe travels. Villager A. Boo-hoo. Now that Saitama's gone, I'm the only bald guy in the whole village. So embarrassing. I don't even want to go outside anymore. Villager B. As the upgraded Thousand Sunny was pulled along by the Three Tails, Luffy stood on the shore yelling, "Saitama, just wait. I'll be setting sail 1 month from now. One day, I'll be the Pirate King. Ack. Ouch. Grandpa Whoopslap, why'd you hit me? Oomph. Quit yelling. You go out there claiming to be a pirate, and you'll end up getting arrested by Saitama himself. Makino, aren't you going to stop him? Saitama's leaving on this journey, and it'll be a long, long time before he can come back." Makino gently caressed her round belly with both hands, her eyes lingering wistfully on the Thousand Sunny anchored by the shore. Her voice was soft but steady as she replied, "I'm already 8 months pregnant. Just a month or 2 more, and the baby will be born." Saitama said, if he hesitated and stayed even a little longer, he might not be able to bring himself to leave at all. "I don't want him to give up on his dreams, his noble purpose in life, just because of me." Village Chief Whoopslap looked at Makino, her hand resting tenderly over her belly, and a subtle glint flashed through his eyes. "You're right. Knowing Saitama, if he stayed long enough to see his child born, there's a good chance he'd never leave this village again." Yatsuba Island, Shellstown. Shellstown was under the rule of Marine Colonel Axan Morgan, the very first mini-boss in the rookie village that Luffy had to beat. In the Marines, the rank of colonel was already pretty badass, just under vice admirals, admirals, fleet admirals, and so on. Technically, Morgan was on the same level as the White Hunter Smoker. Both were colonels, but in terms of power, it was like comparing a puddle to the ocean. At this moment, the Thousand Sunny had just docked at Shellstown. Three-tailed Isenade, stay on the ship. Your young master must go witness the legendary lost sense of direction aura of Zoro in person. With that, Saitama leapt off the boat and headed into town. Roronoa Zoro was one of Saitama's all-time favorite characters from his past life. Cool as hell, didn't chase women, willing to die to protect his crew. There were so many things to like. But above all, that damn green hair. Man, if Zoro had a pair of horns to go with that green hair, that'd be chef's kiss. Perfect. Not that he cares about women anyway. Women only slow down his sword-drawing speed. So Zoro, go on and be the #1 swordsman or whatever. To Shiji, Perona, even Miss Kamurasaki, I'll take care of them for you. Now, lots of people would want to invite Zoro onto their ship. But Saitama? He couldn't care less. Zoro couldn't beat any bosses. Creeps would drop in one punch anyway. And with that horrible sense of direction, it wasn't worth the trouble. Better to leave him for Luffy. 2 guys with no sense of direction teaming up? They'd probably end up circling back to Fusha Village before even sniffing the Grand Line. Just then, a loud, bratty voice interrupted Saitama's thoughts. "You peasants, hurry up and bring this young master some food." A smug-looking blonde kid strutted into a roadside diner with 2 goons behind him. The kind of guy who had rich asshole NPC written all over his face. Oh, isn't that punk Helmeppo, son of mini-boss Morgan? Saitama thought to himself. Bam! Helmeppo kicked the diner door open. Customers scrambled, dropping their chopsticks and rushing out of this cursed location. "What the hell are you running for? You think I'm going to eat you? Get back here, all of you," Helmeppo barked. And to his delight, everyone froze in fear. Ha! Yesterday, some dumbass, calling himself a pirate hunter, Zoro, actually dared to kill my precious pet dog. You know what they say, kill a dog, pay with your life. Tomorrow, that idiot's getting his head chopped off in the public square. Make sure you all come watch the show. Ha ha ha. You liar. You promised. You said if he could hold it in and not go to the bathroom for a whole month, you'd let him go. A little girl suddenly stormed out and pointed at Helmeppo, furious. Rika, get back here now. Her mother ran after her, scooping her up in a panic. Watching this scene, Saitama recalled the original script. A while back, Helmeppo's dog went rabid and started biting random people. Zoro stepped in and killed the beast before it caused more damage. If it hadn't been for Zoro, little Rika probably would have been torn apart. Yeah, I did say that if that fool Zoro could hold it in for a month, I'd let him go. But I was joking, dumbass. Only an idiot would believe that. Tomorrow, get ready to collect his corpse. Ha ha ha. Guards, grab that brat for me. Pointing a finger at this young master? That's gonna cost you. Hearing this, the two Marines behind Helmeppo hesitated, their faces twisted in discomfort. But thinking of Colonel Morgan, they gritted their teeth and stepped forward to grab the girl. Hey, you two, back off. Now was Saitama's cue. His chance to play hero and win over the crowd. All he had to do was beat the crap out of Helmeppo, take care of mini-boss Morgan, and boom, he'd be the town savior. Worshipped, praised, probably even get free food for life. Damn, Rika's mom's kinda hot too. Nice figure, juicy hips. I mean, if a savior like me asked her to do some XXX stuff, she probably wouldn't say no, right? Saitama licked his lips, already imagining the after-party with Rika's mom. You bald freak. Who the hell are you? Think you're some kind of hero? Boys, grab this shiny-headed clown too. But Saitama didn't even flinch. He knew the spotlight was his now. All he had to do was sell the act. Secretly tearing his own clothes a little for dramatic flair, Saitama stepped forward and shouted with confidence. Listen well, I'm the bounty hunter, Saitama. When I heard this town was ruled by a tyrant who bullied innocent people, I traveled night and day, across mountains and rivers, through storms and whirlwinds. My clothes are torn, my hair, well, it's all gone. But I'm here now, and seeing this injustice with my own eyes, I can't stand it any longer. Take this punch. Seeing that Saitama actually dared to charge forward and punch him, Helmeppo screamed in panic. Damn it, do you even know who my father is? My father is... Ow, that hurts like hell. Guards, help. There's an assassin trying to kill your prince. But the two Marines, seeing Saitama's terrifying aura and killer intent, didn't have the guts to fight. Instead, they grabbed Helmeppo and bolted as fast as they could. Hey, you idiots, aren't you supposed to fight him? Why the hell are you carrying me and running away? Let go of me, damn it. I lost my damn sandal. As the three of them stumbled away in a panic, even losing a shoe in the process, the townsfolk started to get nervous. They quickly approached Saitama, trying to persuade him to leave town before things got worse. Hero, thank you so much for traveling all this way to help us. We're truly grateful, but please, you should run. Run before it's too late, before things get really bad. Colonel Morgan, he's a monster in human form. He lives off the sweat and tears of the people. Yet all he does is extort, embezzle, and take bribes. Anyone who dares to disobey him gets chopped down with a single swing of his axe. Saitama, hearing all this, didn't seem too concerned. If you remember correctly, Morgan was once a brave Marine who genuinely cared about the people. But one gloomy, rainy day, Morgan and his team launched an assault on the hideout of the Black Cat Pirates. The result? Every one of Morgan's comrades was slaughtered. Morgan himself had his face stomped in by Captain Kuro and his right hand sliced clean off. Forced to his knees, Morgan begged for his life. Kuro, ever the manipulator, ordered Django to hypnotize Morgan. And after a series of abscess events, Morgan was eventually corrupted by power. Meanwhile, Kuro faked his death and went on to become Kaya's butler. No, Saitama said firmly, I can't just stand by and watch innocent people suffer like this. Even if I have to risk my life, I'll defeat that bastard Morgan. I won't let him keep hurting anyone else. The people were so moved by his words that they began to tear up. Haha, how's that, suckers? Moved to tears, huh? I'm killing it with this performance. Saitama chuckled to himself, and with the townspeople watching with admiration in their eyes, Saitama boldly marched step by step toward the Marine base, ready for a dramatic showdown with the evil Colonel Morgan. Down with Morgan! Get the hell out of here! Led by Saitama, hundreds, no, thousands of townspeople flooded the streets, rallying in front of the Navy base. It had become a full-blown protest, demanding the removal of the tyrannical axe hand, Captain Morgan. To everyone's surprise, even some Navy soldiers joined the mob in defiance. Dad, that's him. That bald freak dared to lay a hand on your precious son. Seeing Saitama leading the angry crowd into the base, the spoiled brat Helmeppo lost it and screamed like a lunatic. Useless trash, Morgan growled. If you weren't my son, I would have chopped your damn head off ages ago. You can't even handle one bald nobody. Feeding you is a waste of Navy rations. Furious, Morgan kicked his own son flying. Several soldiers standing nearby got caught in the blow and were knocked down as well. From a distance, Morgan looked like a beast, tall, bulky, and intimidating. He had tan skin, blonde hair, and a massive steel jaw engraved with the word Mao, German for seagull. His right arm had been replaced with an enormous axe, fused directly into the bone of his forearm. When he saw the huge crowd outside the Navy base, Morgan let out a cold snort. Damn it, they're rebelling. The whole damn town's turned against me. These filthy peasants are tired of living. Huh? Soldiers, ready the cannons. Wipe them all out now. With the massive axe glinting in the sunlight, it was clear, if the soldiers didn't obey, they'd be the next to die, fearing for their own lives. The troops hesitated, but soon began arming up. Some drew swords, others loaded guns, and a few headed to the armory to wheel out the big cannons. If you people don't disperse right now, don't blame us for being merciless, barked a grizzled sergeant, trying to calm the crowd before things escalated. But let's be honest, these farmers had never faced anything like this in their lives. The sheer presence of the Navy's firepower sent waves of fear through the crowd. Some even started to back away, ready to run home. Saitama knew this was his cue. He stepped forward, voice steady and powerful. Ha ha, what a joke. You Navy folks get paid from the blood, sweat, and tears of the people. And this is how you repay them? By siding with a tyrant like Morgan? By letting him abuse innocent townsfolk? Search your hearts. Is justice dead in there? Or did you sell it for a paycheck? Even if I die here today, even if I have to sacrifice every last breath, I, Saitama, will take down this monster and free these people from his reign of terror. The crowd stirred, eyes glistening with emotion. Some even began to sniffle. Suddenly, a mother stepped forward, wiping tears from her face, and shouted at one of the soldiers. Xiao Yan, you damn brat. Put that weapon down this instant. You gonna shoot your own mother now? Xiao Yan froze. He hadn't noticed his mother in the crowd. What the hell was he supposed to do now? Obey orders and kill his mom? Or defy his superior and probably get axed by Morgan? Either way, he was dead. But after weighing it, he decided there was something even scarier than Morgan, his mom. He dropped his weapon, bolted from the ranks, and joined his mom and the protesters. That moment flipped the script. Seeing this, more parents stepped forward. Tang-san, you little punk. Get your ass back here right now. Who told you to join the Navy? Dad, if I surrender now, will you still let me eat dinner tonight? And just like that, the chain reaction began. First it was Tang-san, then dozens more. One after another, Navy soldiers threw down their weapons and ran to join the uprising of Shell's townspeople. From where he stood, Saitama could hear the chants. Hero Saitama, please defeat the demon Morgan. Brave Saitama, we're behind you. Morgan's face twisted in rage. You goddamn traitors. Every last one of you. You dare turn against me? He bellowed. No one's leaving here alive. Not today. He pointed his axe at Saitama. You, bald freak. You're the ringleader of this mutiny. You die first. Now, taste my axe. Saitama smirked. Looks like it was boss fight time. He cracked his knuckles. Time to take out this villain and become the hero of the town. And when you're the town savior, well, a couple of lovely ladies coming over at night to thank you. That's not too much to ask, right? Today, I serve justice on behalf of the heavens. I will end your evil, Morgan. Prepare yourself. Monkey snatches peach. What followed was a brutal showdown that lasted from dawn till dusk. Thanks to the faith and hope of the people, Saitama miraculously pulled through. Morgan's axe had nearly lopped off his head, only a centimeter away, but Saitama accidentally dodged just in time. He retaliated with a right hook, directly to Morgan's most vulnerable spot. Crack. The sound was unmistakable, like two eggs breaking. My balls, my balls. Click, click, click. A reporter hiding in the crowd quickly snapped photos of the glorious moment using his den mushy. Morgan clutched his groin, eyes rolling back white as foam spilled from his mouth. With a choked gasp, he collapsed unconscious onto the ground. We won. We actually won. That bastard Morgan's been taken down. Oh my god, this is amazing. The townspeople erupted into wild cheers, celebrating in a frenzy of joy and disbelief. Out of nowhere, someone shouted, Saitama, Saitama, and the whole crowd quickly joined in, chanting in unison, Saitama, Saitama. From that day on, Saitama was officially hailed as the hero of Shell's town. The people even went so far as to build a giant statue in his likeness to commemorate his incredible act of bravery. Marine Forward Headquarters, Vice Admiral Garp's office. Plop, plop, plop. In the middle of trying to break his personal record of scarfing down 842 donuts in one sitting, Garp was interrupted by the familiar ring of a den mushi. The moment he picked up, the snail morphed into the face of a bald monk, one without eyebrows. Hey, old man, you free or what? Bwahahaha. Well, if it isn't little Saitama. What's up, kid? Don't tell me you've finally come to your senses and want to join the Navy. On the other end, Saitama's expression darkened. To be honest, he never liked people like Garp, those self-righteous types who talked big about justice but had some pretty twisted logic. Always preaching about raising young men to serve in the Navy, but then turning around and handing them off to pirates for training. What the hell was Garp even thinking? Seriously, Saitama thought, if you want your kid to grow up to be a cop, would you really send him to live with criminals? Even an 8-year-old in his past life wouldn't make a dumbass decision like that. You'd have to think with your butt to come up with something so backwards. But hey, that was Garp for you. No wonder he spent his whole life as a foot soldier and never got promoted beyond vice admiral. With genius logic like his, how could he? There were times in his past life when Saitama seriously doubted if Luffy was even Garp's biological grandson. But after seeing Garp's IQ firsthand, he was convinced. Yeah, makes sense. Luffy's stupidity is clearly genetic. As far as Saitama was concerned, the farther he stayed from Garp and Luffy, the better. He wasn't about to catch the stupidity bug. After all, he was a villain in the making with a system built into him, destined to one day overthrow the celestial dragons and rule the world. There was no way he was going to end up as brain dead as the average One Piece villain. Anyway, old man, quick question. If I join the Navy, can I freely harass civilians, beat up subordinates, and take bribes whenever I want? The snail's voice echoed in the room, flat and inquisitive. Garp's brow furrowed. Now that was odd. Saitama was usually sharp. Why was he asking something this idiotic? What the heck are you talking about? A true Marine must be loyal, honest, protect the people like family, even sacrifice their life if need be. Blah, blah, blah. Saitama didn't have time to listen to Garp's motivational monologue. He had a few lovely ladies waiting for a little life counseling from him. After all right, stop. Save it. Just watch this video. A short clip, around 2 minutes long, was transmitted to Garp's den mushi. In the video, the people of Shelltown were cheering and celebrating the fall of Mini-Boss Morgan. Several townsfolk even came forward with testimonies exposing the numerous crimes Morgan had committed over the years. I literally just left Fusha village to begin my journey to take down the Pirate King, Saitama's voice narrated. And what do I see? Not a single pirate yet. But I've already witnessed a Marine colonel terrorizing civilians, abusing his men, and acting like a thug. Man, if this is what the Navy's all about, then count me out. All I see is corruption and abuse of power. That colonel pissed me off, so I gave him a beating. Do whatever you want about it. If you want to arrest me for assaulting an officer, go ahead. I'll be right here, waiting. Click. Saitama hung up. Garp stared at the video in stunned silence. Damn it, what kind of cursed day is this? He remembered the first time he saw Saitama's overwhelming potential years ago. He'd done everything to recruit him into the Navy, even gave long-winded speeches about honor, justice, and the Navy's noble image in the eyes of the people, only to now see those same civilians cussing out the Marines for corruption, murder, and covering up for criminal kids. Crap. Saitama's first impression of the Navy is totally ruined. What the hell do I do now? This was way above his pay grade. Garp didn't dare handle this alone. He rushed off to Admiral Sengoku's office for advice. Sengoku thought for a moment, then sighed. At this point, arresting Saitama for attacking a Marine is off the table. We'll just piss him off more. Our only option is to apologize. Call the kid back, Sengoku continued. Tell him, I swear, I promise, I guarantee, this was just an isolated case. Every organization has its rotten apples, blah blah blah. Garp's eyes lit up. That actually made sense. Sengoku's logic was surprisingly convincing. Someone ready to ship. I'm personally escorting that bastard Morgan straight to impel down. Garp's shout echoed through Marineford, sending chills down the spines of every officer present. At that moment, one thought blazed in Garp's mind. If that brat Saitama refuses to join the Navy because of that damn Morgan, then Morgan is as good as dead. The next morning, 12 noon. Saitama bro, you're up. Small, breakfast is ready. Little Rika beamed as she saw Saitama, shirtless, walk out of her mother's bedroom. In her innocent mind, Saitama was the perfect man. He had defeated the evil Marines, saved Big Bro Zoro, and even stayed the night to comfort her lonely mother. Seeing her wave him over to the breakfast table with a smile, Saitama smiled back. Last night, he'd had quite the deconversation with Rika's mom, some real soul-to-soul bonding. He had to admit, this widow had incredibly rich wisdom. She even managed to broaden Saitama's horizons. In recent months, since Makino's been pregnant, Saitama hadn't really had anyone to talk to or connect with like that, so he decided to be lazy one day and sleep in until noon. At the table, Rika chatted happily, while her mother was quiet, blushing and keeping her head down, only sneaking glances at Saitama every now and then. Oh man, how embarrassing. Last night was a dangerous night, and I didn't have time to prepare any contraception plans. The hero Saitama fired 7 shots inside. What if I'm pregnant? What should I do? Rika's mother thought to herself. Regarding matters of lineage and children, Saitama wasn't overly concerned. He's still young. After he conquers the world, he can have as many kids as he wants. If Rika's mother is pregnant with his child, that's great, a sign of fate between them. He'd marry her as a concubine to give her a status. If not, it's no big deal. If she can't be a concubine, she can become a maid or a personal servant. Thanks for saving me, Zoro suddenly said. Yesterday, after Captain Morgan was defeated by Saitama, Zoro had been set free. To thank Zoro for previously saving her daughter's life, Rika's mother invited both Zoro and Saitama to her home for a meal, knowing they had nowhere to stay. She also invited them to spend the night. Of course, Saitama agreed. In Shellstown, Rika's mother was known as one of the top beauties. Saitama was still hoping she'd repay him with more than just gratitude by tonight. When Zoro expressed thanks, Saitama just nodded and then started sizing up this famed blind swordsman among the martial world. Zoro was only 19 years old, with a muscular build and sun-kissed skin. He wore 3 swords at his hip, including the Wado Ikemanji, a treasured heirloom of Kuina, one of the 21 great swords. A few swords like that, Saitama didn't even bother to glance. When facing an enemy, except mosquitoes, Saitama only needed 1 punch to finish the job. No point in wasting energy swinging swords. But thinking of Tashigi, a girl obsessed with collecting famous swords, Saitama was debating whether to trade a few of those swords for a night out with her. Out of respect for Zoro, one of the few characters Saitama liked from his past life, he decided not to steal the Wado Ikemanji and let Zoro keep using it. If you remember correctly, the weapon shop in Lowtown had 2 famous swords, one of which was one of the 21 great swords, with a price tag of at least 10 million belly. 10 million belly for a night of heartfelt talk and life stories with Tashigi? Not a bad deal at all. Noticing Saitama's absent-minded, casual expression, Zoro clenched his teeth. After hesitating and weighing his words carefully, Zoro finally spoke up. Saitama, can I join your hunter crew? Team. Branch mission. Recruit a follower. Description. How can a future pirate king not have loyal followers? Your task is to find talented and loyal followers to serve you. Reward. Ability to see each follower's loyalty level to you. Asterisk. From what Saitama has seen in the anime, Zoro starts off as a weak general early on, but becomes really strong late game. His talent is exceptional, and he masters all 3 types of haki. Not only that, Zoro has the potential to become the world's strongest swordsman. Most importantly, Zoro isn't a womanizer. He just needs his booze, sword training, and sleep to be happy. If that horny guy Sanji wanted to join your bounty hunting crew, Saitama would definitely say no right away. But with Zoro, that's a different story. Have you thought this through? You got to understand, my dream is to kill the Pirate King. This journey will be full of challenges, countless fierce and ruthless pirates. One slip up, and you're dead meat. Saitama said all this calmly, without blushing or rushing, spouting all these high-minded ideals that even Rika's mom, sitting nearby, had to look up in disbelief. In the original story, the reason Zoro initially refused to join the Straw Hat Pirates was because Luffy called himself a pirate. But what is a pirate? Pirates are just thieves, ruthless, heartless criminals constantly hunted by the Navy, despised by society. The anime romanticizes pirates, so viewers don't notice this. But in reality, out of over 100,000 pirate crews, you won't find one as nice as the Straw Hats. Technically, the Straw Hats aren't really pirates. They're more like an exploration team. I've thought about it all night. My future is to become a great swordsman, and you, Saitama, want to kill the Pirate King. I feel if I follow you, I can make my dream come true. Zoro said sincerely. Saitama didn't quite believe him, but activated his advanced observation haki to read Zoro's thoughts. Take me, please. I'm suffering here. Ever since I left Shimatsuki village, I keep getting lost. If you, Saitama, accept me, I can go out and fight all kinds of sword masters stronger than me. Zoro thought desperately. Damn, so you're scared of getting lost? Just say so instead of pretending. Saitama cursed silently. Fine then, welcome to my bounty hunting crew. King, congratulations. You have recruited a talented follower. Reward has been granted. You can now see the loyalty level of your followers. Status sheet. Name, Zoro the Directionally Challenged. Age, 19. Potential, SSS+. Strength, weakling. Loyalty, 11. Ting. You recruited Zoro as a follower, stealing the Straw Hat's swordsman. Ting. You gained 5% of the main character Luffy's luck. Wow, could it get any better? Recruiting Zoro is like stealing some of Luffy's luck. Come to think of it, it makes sense. Luffy defeated mini-boss Morgan, gained experience, and leveled up, and also recruited the talented swordsman Zoro. In the future, Zoro helped Luffy defeat several other mini-bosses, playing a major role in Luffy's leveling up process. Now without Zoro, who knows how Luffy will be affected? But Saitama doesn't care. What really matters to him right now is luck. Luck is a vague, intangible thing, but it's essential for every main character. It can turn bad situations good, lead you to find martial arts manuals if you fall off a cliff, and more. Like Luffy, he either fights bosses or idiots like Spandam from CP9, or powerful enemies with countering abilities, Enel with his devil fruit electrical powers, or sometimes wins thanks to faith and hope from his friends. At first, Saitama thought followers were just a nuisance, like the old Navy Admiral Zephyr Blackarm from One Piece Film Z. Without hostages taken by pirates, Zephyr alone could have easily defeated the enemies or at least severely wounded pirate Edward Weevil and his mother, the infamous Big Mom. But in the end, Zephyr lost his arm to the pirates, failed to protect his students, and his ship was slaughtered. Only 2 students, Ein and Binz, survived. The lesson here, don't join the Navy, because if your followers are captured by pirates, and those pirates use the lives of your Navy soldiers as leverage, there's no way out. Rescue or not, if you try, you end up like Zephyr, losing everything while the pirates escape, and your followers die. If you don't rescue them, you're seen as heartless and ungrateful. At this moment, Saitama looked at Zoro with a different expression. If someone's life was on the line because of Zoro, Saitama would just say, "You're the villain here, not me. Want to kill? Go ahead, I don't care." 2 hours later, with the tearful eyes of the kind Shells Town residents watching, Saitama led Zoro onto the Thousand Sunny ship. In the anime, the Straw Hat's Thousand Sunny is only 39 meters long and 46 meters tall. But Saitama's version is upgraded, 5 times bigger, equipped with advanced weapons and ultramodern furnishings. Plus, it can self-repair automatically when damaged. Standing in front of the massive ship, not only Zoro but the townsfolk were all wide-eyed with astonishment. Zoro, our bounty hunting crew, is officially called the Avenger Squad. It means the Vengeance Team. My family was slaughtered by pirates. Only I survived. That's why I named the crew to remind myself to take revenge for my parents. If we catch cruel pirates, we capture them immediately. If they resist, we kill on the spot, blah blah. While Saitama spun his tragic-sounding tale for Zoro, the Thousand Sunny officially set sail amid cheers from the Shells Town people. Meanwhile, in some remote corner, a beautiful woman stared intently at the giant ship leaving the harbor. Damn, with a ship this big, the owner must have tons of treasures. Ha ha, I had to figure out how to steal it all. Her greedy smile spread wide as her eyes sparkled, her pupils shaped like belly coins. Saitama was still bragging, unaware that thanks to the 5% luck gained from recruiting Zoro, a beautiful woman was about to literally throw herself into his arms.